This quick tip moment is brought to you by Swimbaits Plus. Swimbaits Plus, check these guys out on Instagram at Swimbaits Plus. They're your site for all those hard to find swim baits. A lot of oldies but goodies. A lot of the stuff that you just can't seem to find anywhere else. Also, they got outstanding prices. Swimbaits Plus is what you want to check out on Instagram. I've been fishing this Trophy Bass Baits rat quite a bit lately, and this is the U Dirty Rat. It actually was put together and molded after a stealth fighter. If you can look at that thing head on, it kind of has the shape of a stealth fighter, and that was the motivation for putting it together. It's a jointed wake bait. With a kind of a classic rat body to it. What I've been having a lot of success with lately is going and trying to find the steepest banks I can find, particularly if they have a lot of rock and brush on them, but finding the steepest banks possible and throwing this bait right up on the bank. I mean, it should be landing an inch or two from the rocks. You be careful, you don't want to damage your bait, but I mean, if you're throwing your bait further out than that, you're gonna miss a great opportunity. What's been happening for me lately is the bass have been sitting off the bank, kind of suspended, usually in a brush line, in probably 10 or 15 feet of water. And when this bait hits the water, I give it a couple of hard shakes, and boy, one great way to work this is with the rod tip. Just holding the rod tip down and just whipping the rod tip. This thing walks a dog like nothing else you've ever seen. But all of my bites are coming on the first 2 or 3 quick aggressive rod twitches. And what's happening is these fish that are sitting suspended in the brush lines in about 10 or 15 feet, is they're coming up and blasting this thing. They're not in the shallow water, but they're sitting in deeper water looking up at the shallow water. It's almost as if they're waiting for something to fall in off the bank. For me, when I throw a topwater, I usually fish the outside edge of brush lines, and that will work, I'm sure. I haven't caught any fish doing that lately. All the fish I've been catching have been coming right on the bank. So don't be afraid when you're fishing your favorite lake to find the steepest banks, and to fish the inside brush lines. Okay, the inside part between the bank and the brush instead of the outside. You're missing something if you don't do that. One thing about this bait, as you can see, this is not the stock tail. I have added a long worm tail on this just to give it a different look. The bait comes with typically a little bit shorter tail, but as with all rat baits, from time to time, especially after you've caught several fish on it, you're going to find that the tails pull out. Now this bait will work perfectly without a tail, but I think from a confidence standpoint and from wanting to fish your best, you want to have a tail. So what I recommend that you do is I recommend that you have yourself a rat construction kit with you. What I recommend is that you have a rat kit with you. Now in my rat kit, I have a lot of assorted little nails and things, and I have paper clip. All right, and what I use that paper clip for is to push the nail, because this tail is held into the back of the rat with a small nail, and I use that just to push out the nail. There we go. And I can pull that nail out, and that allows me to change tails if I want to, or put on another tail. Now, if you lose this little pin, it's actually just a little panel nail is what it is that holds it in. That's why you carry some extra nails, so you have those to replace. But it's very simple to replace the tail if you need to. Sometimes I'll use a small Senko as a tail. It gives it a little bit different look. This is a little bit longer one. I like using that longer one. And so I will put it in there, take the nail, push the nail back inside that hole. You can feel the nail actually going into the plastic worm. Now it's in there, and we're ready to go. So if you ever lose your tail on your rat, fear not, it's a real easy fix. Again, this is Trophy Bass Bait's You Dirty Rat. It's available online at Swim Baits Plus. Check out their Instagram at Swim Baits Plus. You can find out all about these baits and how to get them.